Good morning. People are still coming in from the narthex. Good to see everybody on a day, hopefully with 80s and not 90s. Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation in Fullerton, California, an inclusive community dedicated to building a better world. Whoever you are, however you identify, whether you join us in person or online, know that you are welcomed here, that this is a safe space for you to be exactly who you are. UUCF acknowledges that this land is situated in the original ancestral homelands of the Ahachiman, Kizh, and Tongva peoples. May we have the humility and courage to help restore what has been broken and the wisdom to live into a new solidarity with indigenous communities and the earth. Before we begin our service, I'd like to call your attention to a few brief announcements. We have some slips for our new order of service that we began this morning. Some of you don't know that we've already begun it, but we sing a hymn, just a simple hymn right before the service to get things going and to get you all in here and singing with us, to build that hope. And what we've done with this change in service, every time we talk about change in church, believe me, people shiver, but what we're doing is adding new music. We're adding more music. We've listened to you, and that means you wanted more music, you wanted to sing more, you wanted to hear live music, and we've done that. So, we do have handouts of the new order of service. If anyone needs them, does anyone need one? Just to follow along. It's not very difficult. It's going to be on the slides, and so hopefully you can follow along. If you can't, don't worry. We have these for you. More music. We're excited about that. And we're excited about something else new. And is Patrick here? Patrick has some exciting news that we've been working on for a while. Come on up. Hi.
Hi. Let's see. Hi, I'm your vice president for this term, Patrick Mannion. I have an announcement. I'll hold your applause. Maybe it's on the next slide. And if it is, then I am announcing, and I'm holding it, and I'm lengthening, because I would love to, well, it's up in the corner, so if there's no slide, there's still the thing. There it is. There it is. Our new logo. We worked long and hard on this, and we're so happy to have something that represents us and gives us a fresh new look. That's something else. I'm not sure if that's for me to announce. The other thing I do want to tell you about is you are absolutely welcome to come to the board meetings. We have one today. Come on out, see what's going on, attend, be informed. We would love to see you there. Thank you, everybody.
All right, can we see that logo just one more time? Because it just came up for like 3 seconds. And they've worked so hard on it. There it is. A lot of intention and a lot of work by our website team. They've been working really hard. The website is underway. It will be, I guess, debuting, what do you think, the next month or so? Time-wise? Hope so, okay? But this is proof that of their fruits of labor. So we appreciate everyone on the design team. We have made some changes to our service. Again, the handouts are available. Our social action committee, this is really cool. Our social action committee has adopted a family in Fullerton through the Fullerton School District. This means that we as a congregation will be providing groceries, toiletries, and other essentials for this family of 6. And the children are ages 12, 10, 7, and 5. As heartbreaking as it is with this situation, let us be the congregation that supports and shows love and walks the walk, and that's what we are doing with this adopted family. We will have a sign-up sheet for individual congregants or groups of congregants to provide items to this family on a rotating weekly basis. For those of you that are wondering why we are doing this, this is a family that is very, very concerned about being in public due to the ICE, I'm gonna just say kidnappings, because that's what's going on. And so we are giving our support in giving them what they need during this very difficult time. And I want on our hearts as we meditate, as some of us pray in our silent time, to think about back to school. Think about our students who are persons of color and who are worried about going back to school, not only for themselves, but leaving their family to go to school and wondering what's happening while they're gone. It's a lot of weight for our young people. And so this is a way where we can use our privilege and our love and our devotion to support those in need. So thank you to our Social Action Committee. And you were holding up a form to sign up. Is that right, Debbie?
Sign up.
Please sign up so that you can be part of this support. And we thank you. Also, our monthly hot meals program with First Christian Church serves dinner this Wednesday. You can be part of this ministry by serving on our dessert team. And all you have to do is talk to Barry if you have any questions or would like to be part of that. We will be sharing our joys and sorrows a little bit later in the service. So if you're in the sanctuary, you'd like to share, the slips are in the back. They are pink. You can't miss them. You can fill them out until the end of time for all ages. Also, if you don't want yours announced, but you have sorrows or you have joys that you would like to pass along for us maybe to pray on or to meditate or just hold you up, come talk to me and we can do that as well. Those of you in the sanctuary, now it is time to greet one another for about 2 minutes, and then we will start our service.
sing is a hymn of the month. We have in our hymnals, we have 2 hymnals. We have an amazing repertoire of music, most of which we'd never do. So we're going to start a new program. Every month we're going to learn a hymn. We will sing that hymn every Sunday of that month, and then it will become part of our repertoire, and you'll hear it again during the year as part of the service music. Today's hymn is called When the Summer Sun is Shining. It seemed appropriate for August. The tune is a beautiful old Appalachian tune. It's from the book Southern Harmony, which is a collection of Southern tunes, most of which come from Britain. So they're mostly Scottish, Irish, and English folk dance tunes that were adapted and that somebody put words to. And so please join me in singing When the Summer Sun is Shining.
When the summer sun is shining over golden land and sea, and the flowers in the hedgerow welcome butterfly and bee, then my open heart is glowing, full of warmth for everyone, and I feel an inner beauty which reflects the summer sun. When the summer clouds of thunder bring the long-awaited rain, and the thirsty soil is moistened, and the grass is green again, then I long for summer sunshine, but I know that clouds and tears are a part of life's refreshment, like the rainbow's hopes and fears. In the cool of summer evening, when the dancing insects play, and in garden, street, and meadow linger echoes of the day, then my heart is full of yearning, hopes and memories from the home of my being, reaching inwards to the corners of my soul.
More than a relic, living symbol, beacon to the bewildered, illuminating refuge, light of love calling to community, signal of sacred mission, shine now in the world. Set being ablaze, kindle our courage, ignite intuition, spark our hearts to service, glow hope. I now invite Bruce Reback to light the chalice. Please join me in saying our unison affirmation. This flame affirms the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. Love is the doctrine that we share, the quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need, thus do we covenant with one another.
It is our custom to provide donations of non-perishable food and personal care items or pathways of hope at local food banks. Please check the dates on your items. We are unable to donate any items with expired dates. As the children come forward, they are asked to collect the donations placed at the end of the rows. And now the children are invited to come forward for time of all ages.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. Good morning, everybody. It's great to see some young faces here. Not that the faces last time were not also very great to see. My name is Megan Watson. I am the teen coordinator here at UCF. This is Joy Ellis. She's our elementary teacher. And today we have a story called The Coming of the Corn. Do you guys like corn? Oh, yes, good, good. Oh, you like popcorn? Spoiler alert, we might eat popcorn today. So this story comes from Indigenous tribes in Canada. So where they're often called First Nations. So in the old times, there dwelt on the shores of a great lake a mighty warrior. His people had all been driven far inland by hostile tribes, but he remained behind to send his people word of any approaching attack. He had 2 little boys, and he kept them with him in his wanderings by the lake. He was a great magician as well as a man of great strength, and he had no fear in his heart. The islands in the lake were haunted by spirits, but the man was not afraid of them. And with his boys, he paddled his canoe up and down, watching for signs of foes. But he found it very hard to get game and fish, and often his boys were very hungry. One morning, he rose and went to find food for breakfast. He left his little boys asleep under the trees. He walked through the forest until he came suddenly upon a wide and open red plain. There was not a tree or a rock or a blade of grass upon it. He set out across the plain, and when he reached the middle of it, he met a small man with a red feather in his cap. "Where are you going?" said the little man. "I'm going across the plain to the woods on the other side," said the man. "My boys are hungry, without food, and I am looking for game." "How strong are you?" said the little man. "I am as strong as the whole human race," said the man. "My name is Red Plume," said the little man. "We must wrestle. If you should make me fall, say to me, 'I have thrown you.' If you should overcome me, you will never want for food, for you will have other nourishment than fish and game." They wrestled for a long time. The warrior was growing weak, for the little man was very strong. But at last, he threw Red Plume down and cried, "I have thrown you!" And at once, the little man disappeared. When the warrior looked on the ground where his opponent had fallen, he saw only a crooked thing, like an acorn, with a red tassel on it. He picked it up and looked at it, and as he looked, a voice from it said, "Take off my outside covering, split me into many parts, and throw the parts all over. Scatter every bit, and in a month, come back." The warrior did as he was told, then he went back to his boys. He did not tell the boys what he had seen. At the end of the month, he went alone to the plain. In the place where he had scattered the strange object, he found blades of strange grass peeping green above the ground. And where he had thrown the pieces near the woods, little pumpkins were growing. He did not tell his boys what he had found. All summer he watched for his foes, and in the autumn he went again to the place where he had thrown down the man of the red plume. The plain was covered with corn in the ear, and there were also pumpkins of great size near the woods. The corn was golden yellow, and red tassels grew from the tops of the ears. He plucked some ears of corn and gathered some of the pumpkins and set out to find his boys. Then a voice spoke from the corn. He knew it at once to be the voice of the man of the red plume. It said, "You have conquered me. Henceforth you shall never want for food, for when game and fish are scarce, you will have bread. And I will never let the human race lack food if they keep me near them." So corn came to the people in olden times, and never afterwards did they want for food. When the man came to his boys, he told them what he had found. This time he told them. He ground some of the corn between stones and made bread from the meal, and he cooked a pumpkin and ate it. Then he thought of his poor old father and mother far away from beyond the hills, perhaps without food. So that night he took his boys and traveled far through the forest until he found his parents. He told them of his meeting with the man of the red plume and of the coming of the corn, and he brought them back with him to the islands near the shores of the great lake. And ever afterwards the fields were fruitful, and corn was abundant, and never failed in the land where red plume fell. You guys want to go eat some corn? Raw corn. No, popcorn, let's go.
Go with wisdom, go with wonder, go to read on a new day. Learn to see the light within you as we send you on your way. Go with wisdom, go with wonder, go to read on a new day. Learn to see the light within you as we send you on your way.
Those joining us online are invited to share a joy or a sorrow in the comment section. We begin by lighting a candle for all of our concerns, for the larger world, more than we can express. Our wish for peace and justice, our hopes for our kids who will inherit this planet. May this candle represent all these wishes and calls to action that are more than we can possibly articulate. And now, let us share the personal joys and sorrows. This comes from Megan Watson. It is a concern. My husband Paul's father is in the hospital in Utah. Please send good vibes. This is a joy from Bruce. As an Uber driver of 8 years, I reached 10,000 rides. Approximately 20,000 riders. You could have taken all of Arcadia. That's the population. That's a lot to be in your car. At once. And this from Ed Chabron. My wife, Susan, is a year older yesterday. He does not give the year, but happy birthday, Susan. We now light one more candle for all those joys, concerns, and sorrows that actually may remain unexpressed but are still held close to our hearts. And now please join in saying the affirmation. We join you in celebrating your joys. May you feel our love and compassion for your sorrows and concerns, for all that is spoken and unspoken. May the caring of our beloved community sustain us all.
let them move into a spirit of meditation, reflection, and prayer. You may close your eyes, take a deep breath, whatever helps you find your center. The church is a body. May the body breathe and be together in the spirit of hope. It is as strong as all the people wherever gathered within its walls. It is the power of all they dream and all they have done. The church is a vision. It is a vision of unity amid diversity. It is a vision of reference for all of creation. It is a vision that beckons us beyond the concern of our skin. In the silence, we may abide as one body in the spirit of hope and faith and love. That is the body, that is the story and the vision of the church. Let it now share a minute of silence. to be hopeful in bad times is not foolishly romantic. It is based on the fact that human history is history not only of cruelty, but also of compassion, sacrifice, courage, and kindness. What we choose to emphasize in our complex history will determine our lives. If we see only the world, it destroys our capacity to do something. If we remember those times and places, and there are so many, where people have behaved magnificently to give energy to act, and at least the possibility of sending the spinning top of a world in a different direction. And if we do act in however small ways, we don't have to wait for some grand utopian future. The future is innate succession of presence, and to live now as we think human beings should live in defiance of all that is bad around us is itself a marvelous victory.
Hello. It's good to see you all. Good to be back in this place and this space. I'm refreshed after seeing my husband graduate with his master's in history, focusing on trans people of color at University of Gettysburg, which was really interesting. Then we hopped on down to Washington, D.C., and finally unplugged in the desert and went to see some great drag shows. And I must say, and we're not talking about the cars. My father-in-law is like, I thought we were talking about cars. And then RuPaul shows up and he's very confused and it's wonderful. But all of this, Gettysburg, Washington, D.C., and Palm Desert and Palm Springs, there was a theme that you may not believe is real, but I will tell you it is. It was a theme of active hope. Let me explain. I'd never been to Washington, D.C. before, by the way. As I visited the Museum of Natural History, the Museum of African American History, the Museum of the American Indian, that theme of hope revealed itself even clearer. That hope is an active verb, not a noun. And we have no choice but to live it in action. Because that's what our spiritual, philosophical giants before us did. There was no choice but to hope and to put that hope into action. If they had given up, we would be in different places. We may speak different languages. And now, I bring to you the idea that both history and the future are looking to us to put our hope in action. One of the exhibits was of Harriet Tubman. Of course, we learn about her in history classes. She was supposed to be on the $20 bill. Remember that? The Museum of African American History reminded me and our family as we were talking about it, of the hope and strength and faith that flowed through her veins. Despite constant threats, she went to the South. Do you remember how many times? 13 times. That means 12 times she could have said, I'm done. I give up. It's over. She didn't. Despite constant threats, she went to the South, guiding more than 70 slaves, and some say more, through the Underground Railroad. This was not a passive hope, waiting for someone else to be a hero, but the embodiment of hope in action. And that's not all. Tubman also served as a scout, a spy, and a nurse for the Union Army during the Civil War. Washington, D.C.'s documents, museums, monuments, and protests, got to see those and walk with them, are about history and honor and hope and possibility and liberty. Yes, while the inhabitant in the White House is the opposite of that, but when you are walking the streets of the capital city, there is an energy and an optimism of what could be, of what can be, and it is much stronger a force than the chaos and confusion of the current administration. Seeing Lincoln overlooking the National Mall and Dr. King emerging from that stone, both are speaking to us from the past. Both are calling us to continue our journey and their journey. A journey of love, service, justice, a movement of hope that is bigger and stronger than any red hat. You know, I was a bit apprehensive about how I'd feel about Washington, D.C. But Washington, D.C. actually reminded me of the tenacity of the human spirit, and where I saw that strength was in the museums, was in the lives and stories of those who were oppressed and marginalized, and therefore it is a call and reminder to those of us who do have privilege to use it in order to live out our UU values and principles. Now, after our trip to Washington, go west, and that's what we did, to the desert. Some people are like, you go to the desert in the summer? The place had a pool. You know, one of the things that my husband Michael and I like to do when we're in the desert is go to drag shows. If there is a time when you need to laugh and need to be inspired, watch an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. Many of the contestants have some difficult stories, but amazing outcomes. Stories of tenacity and strength. You may not know this, but Sunday drag brunches are known as gay church. And this is not being disrespectful, not in the least. Get this, it is a space where all are welcome and celebrated as their authentic selves. It is a space with music and a message where people break bread together and celebrate love. And last week, one of the drag stars brought a message of hope to the room of people. She said, two frogs hop as they do along through their day, hop as they do into a bucket. This bucket happened to be half filled with cream, which made the sides very slippery. Too slippery for the frogs to climb out, too deep to jump out. One frog began to moan and wail, "We'll never get out, we're doomed." The other frog quietly thought about their predicament. While he thought, he moved his legs, treading water in the cream. He thought, "We'll never get out, we're doomed." Moaned one, and the other paddled, and to drown out his companion started chanting, "Keep hope alive! Keep hope alive!" And he urged his despairing friend to do the same. "Keep hope alive! Keep hope alive!" Around and around they swam, croaking, "Keep hope alive!" And after some time, the most astonishing thing happened. What do you think happened? Yes, it turned to butter. Butter formed from the cream. As the frogs swam around and round, they churned the cream into butter, enough to climb up on and hop out of the pail on their merry way, still chanting to themselves, "Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive." That's when drag brunch turns into church. And by the way, drag has entered the gospel scene. I don't know if you know this. There is a drag queen and country singer named Flamy Grant, paying homage to Amy Grant, who, by the way, has turned out to be an amazing ally of ours. And Flamy Grant has some very successful albums and songs at the top of the Christian charts, which tickles me to death. But that story about the frogs, did that resonate with you all? In some way? I suspect most of us in this room feel as though we're in a whole lot more than a big pail of cream these days. Our bucket of cream runneth over, if you will. The message this morning is to share with you that hope is not only warranted in these days. Yes, difficult times, but that hope is vital. It is not optional. Hope must be created and recreated, imagined and reimagined. And when you do that, it becomes contagious. I want to give you two books for your consideration on hope. I will be putting these names and titles in Facebook so that you can find them. Thank you, Harry, for that idea. These two books. One is from Joanna Macy, whose root tradition is Buddhism. And they are the co-author of the book Active Hope: How to Cope with the Mess We're In Without Going Crazy. And Rebecca Solnit, author of Hope in the Dark: Untold Histories, Wild Possibilities. Both women argue that hope is not something external to be searched for. Hope is not to be found, not to get and not to hold on to, but hope is something we do. Hope is something we do. Hope is an active verb. It is not passive, it is active. It is internal, it is not out there, it is in here. Both Macy and Solnit agree on these attributes of hope, and they also agree on this. Authentic hope always emerges from a full recognition of reality. Hope is not blind, to the circumstances. In fact, hope is generated by a full immersion, so to speak, thinking of our frog friends. Immersion in reality. I like the simple, straightforward way Joanna Macy speaks about what she calls active hope, and I want to share it with you. 1, active hope takes a clear view of reality. We are not putting lipstick on a pig and calling her Matilda in a beauty show. That's a Kentucky phrase. I don't know if you got that. But put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. So we know what's going on, right? Active hope requires something from us, a vision, a direction we want to move in, the values we like to see embraced, which we know those values, we know those principles. 3, then active hope becomes the steps we take to move forward, a clear view of reality. We are in a bucket of cream, a vision of what we hope for, to live to see another day, to not have a life end in this way. She writes, take steps, swim, chant, and see what happens. Swim, chant, and see what happens. Isn't that like Dory or Dory from, the fish. Fish and pigs, fish and pigs. Those steps, activated hope, if you will, lead us to another characteristic of hope. Hope is not about outcomes. It's about desire. Hope is not about outcomes. It is about desire. Dr. King very well knew, in fact, he thought he was going to be assassinated in the days ahead. He made that clear in his last speech. It didn't change what he did and his call. One of those frogs had a desire to live, but the happy ending to the story certainly wasn't guaranteed. Maybe the cream didn't have enough fat content to turn to butter. Maybe hoping frog couldn't persuade his despairing friend to swim, and so the butter didn't form before he exhausted himself. Maybe the butter formed, but the frogs were still too far down in the bucket to jump out. There were no guarantees. But in Joanna, the author's words, if that's what we need before we act, if we need an assurance of a particular outcome we have in mind, if we require this kind of hope before we commit ourselves to an action, our ability and willingness to act is likely going to get blocked as we weigh the chances. In her words, active hope is about becoming active participants in bringing about what we hope for. While there is no guarantee we're going to succeed in bringing about what we hope for, the process of giving our full attention as a community, our full attention and effort draws out our aliveness. I like that with what she says. All of this participation brings out our aliveness, which means our authentic selves with hope and joy and love, and putting that in as the ingredients to what we envision happening but cannot guarantee. So it's a good time to remind ourselves again. Hope cannot come from hopelessness. nor does it come from outside of ourselves. The author Václav Havel wrote, "The kind of hope I often think about is a state of mind, not a state of the world." The world's gone crazy. Let us not participate in that. Then she wrote, "I want to amend that. Hope is a state of the heart, not a state of the world. Hope is a state of the spirit, not the state of the world. Hope is the reminder of the kingdom or kingdom within and its expression outward." RuPaul didn't create a moment in history. RuPaul created a movement in history, a life-saving movement. A movement, yes, of makeup, a movement of, yes, glitter, a movement of glamour, but mostly a movement of active hope and empowerment for those who are shunned. In her mini sermon, I looked up sermons and RuPaul in Google and found this. She preaches this message to the queens after a job well done. And Ru says, this right here. Because what you're saying is, through this journey of a lot of pain, you have found what the true meaning is. You just quoted the Bible. You just interpreted it through your own path. You've understood what the words really mean, and you are exactly right. Dress yourself up and go out there and celebrate. And your ministry helped this kid in Hamburger Mary's come into the light, walk into his own beauty, into his own light. But this is why this ministry of drag is so powerful. We can speak from so much pain and so much heartache and so much still frustration, but we can walk that walk. And you're doing it. You're doing it. They are doing it. Living in hope, active in hope, not just on the runways, but in the hearts of fearful LGBTQ plus people. In the midst of fear and unknown futures, these bigger than life, louder than life queens break through with active hope. And what you learn is active hope is fun. Active hope is creative. Active hope is catching. That's right, it's contagious. I have hope because look at us. Here we all are, showing up. Some of us tired. Some of us afraid. Some of us feeling broken or heartbroken. But yet, you're making a conscious decision to live, to walk, to seek justice and love. Because we know the stakes. We love humanity, we love our children, and we love each other, and we refuse to let the forces of greed and oppression win. I'm going to ask you to say amen on that one. You know, I was just thinking of my grandparents' generation. I miss my grandparents so much. I wish they had gotten to see my journey in this way. And what they endured. Just looking at the calendar of when they were alive. Spanish flu, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, racial tensions, assassinations, JFK, Bobby, Dr. King, and yet they had hope. Of course, every person's situation is different. But that generation went through a lot, and they kept showing up. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to have grandparents who did show up, who could have just crawled in a hole after all of that. We have a generation that could have just crawled in a hole and said, we're done. But they didn't. We can't either. Blogger Jess Craven from the site Chop Wood and Carry Water writes, sometimes these days our side reminds me of the residents of Whoville. Jess is talking about the side, the progressive side. Remember how in Dr. Seuss's poem they hold hands and sing Christmas carols even after the Grinch has stolen all their gifts? The sound of that singing, fictional though it may be, keeps ringing in my ears. For collectively, we are doing the same. We are insisting on joy. We are clinging to community. We are clinging to a vision of unity, even when powerful forces are trying to stop us from doing so. This is the reason why we're changing up things in our service. So there is more music. And we're making a commitment to try and bring in our service with hope. Go deep, have a message, and then leave with some music and hope. So while the Supreme Court issues disastrous rulings, and Fox News spews lies, and MAGA, with its racism and hate and transphobia and homophobia and misogynism, do what they do, we do the opposite, and we do it greater and smarter. I leave you with this. We will stand steadfastly on the side of justice. We will help those targeted by this regime. We will repeat the truth to whomever will listen. We will love, we will care, we will honor those who came before us in this fight. We will continue their work no matter what our chances of success, because that's what patriots do. This is harder than we expected it to be, yes. And we knew it would be brutal. But for one day more, we can return to the front, knowing that not just our country, but the world is depending on our courage. It feels bleak as hell right now. If you're watching TV, it's not as bleak when you're out on the streets. It feels hopeless, but we have active hope because we know feelings aren't what determine the future. Our actions are. So keep hope alive. Let's keep acting like a different type of patriot. One of love, one of inclusiveness, one of welcome, one of justice. We can do this as long as we stay in the mindset of the past looking at us and the future looking at us and our children looking toward us. Active hope, active love, walking our principles and our values. Look them up, read them, meditate on them in the morning instead of turning on the news 5 minutes of meditation on our principles, on our values, instead of turning on the TV, will build a foundation for a better day. Keep hope alive. And now, UCF, we embrace the possibility of a world filled with peace, acceptance, justice, love, and joy. By our financial commitment, we help this congregation through its maintenance, its mission, and its ministries, making those possibilities real in a challenging world. A basket is being brought round the sanctuary, and there are payment options on the screen via Venmo, PayPal, and checks can be mailed to the address up on the screen. Whatever you're able to give is received with gratitude. We thank you for your commitment and generosity.
Okay, because we're into change today. Everybody? Yeah, come on. All right. Because Reverend Rob's sermon just inspired me so much that all I could think of was this song, and Kate's gonna help me here. And we're gonna do it a cappella, because poor Christine, I'm just throwing it at her at the last minute, so don't look at the words on the screen, ignore the man behind the curtain, you know, that kind of thing. So this is High Hopes, and I think you'll sing along when you can, okay? Next time you're found with your chin on the ground, there's a lot to be learned, so look around. Just what makes that little old ant think he'll move that rubber tree plant? Anyone knows an ant can't move a rubber tree plant, but he's got high hopes, he's got high hopes, he's got high apple pie in the sky. I hope so. Anytime you're getting low, instead of letting go, just remember that ant. Oops, there goes another rubber tree plant. Oops, there goes another rubber tree plant. When troubles call and your back's to the wall, there's a lot to be learned. That wall could fall. Once there was a silly old ram, thought he'd punch a hole in a dam. Nobody gave that ram scram. He kept butting that dam 'cause he had high hopes. He had high hopes. He had high apple pie in the sky. Hope so. Anytime you're feeling bad, instead of feeling sad, just remember that ram. Oops, there goes a billion kilowatt. Oops, there goes a billion kilowatt. Oops, there goes a billion kilowatt dam. Kerblam.
Our caring listener. Oh, are we going to do the hymn too? No, we don't have to. We don't have to. I was just wondering. That was beautiful. I love it. I love it. Our caring listener this week is Debbie Langenbacher. You can speak with her after the service if you have any concerns or would simply like someone to talk to and trust that what you share is always confidential. Always want to let you know that the Social Action Committee meeting is at 1, right, in the Chapman Lounge? All right, that gives you that. And the board meeting also is at 1. So lots of stuff to do today. Active hope as we rise together. As you leave today, I would like for you to change the way you think about hope. Hope is not something that we grab. It is something that is within us. Hope is not a noun, it is an active verb. And when you have that hope, it becomes a propellant to go out into the world instead of sitting in front of the TV, seeing so much in the way of lies and shiny objects. Stay away from that. When you have that urge, do something to help the side of love. And now, we extinguish this chalice. And let us say this together. Shalom, salam, namaste, and blessed be. Go ahead, we now extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These words we carry in our hearts wherever we may go. Go now in peace, go